Hello everyone, Cindy here with Monarch Mom DIY. Thank you so much for joining me today on my channel where I love to bring you the best tips and tools to inspire you to create beautiful home decor on a budget. Today I am here with a little bit different video. I wanted, for those of you that really would love to have a Christmas tiered tray, but maybe are running behind on time and funds, I put together this video making a tiered tray and tiered tray decor for Christmas using only Dollar Tree items. There's just one exception, but I will tell you what you can use from Dollar Tree in its place. So with all that being said, let's get crafting. DIY number one will be this faux book stack that I'm going to make using Dollar Tree items. You can just use one of the small wood crates, some jute twine, some greenery, and some mini sticker letters from Dollar Tree, as well as whatever paint you have on hand or can buy from Dollar Tree. Now I'm taking some painter's tape, which you can also get at Dollar Tree, and I am taping off the top and bottom sections so that I'm first just going to paint the middle section. You can do whatever colors you'd like, but I'm going with a red, white, and green theme mostly for this tiered tray. So I'm going to paint the middle section of my book stack with white paint. Then once my white paint is dry, I'm going to tape over that and go all the way around so that now I can paint the top section of my crate. Actually, it's the bottom section because the crate's upside down with the next color. Then once the green's dry, we'll do the same thing, taping around so that we can paint the bottom section with our third color. Now, technically books are only colored on the top and bottom and the spine, so you don't have to paint all the way around if you don't want to. I just find it's easier just to paint all the way around. You could just do the colors on the top and this front edge and the bottom, and then leave the sides to be the plain wood color if you'd like. Then once all of our paint is dry, I'm using some mini sticker letters. You can definitely use the ones from Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to start on the right-hand side with my words, and I'm going to do peace, love, and joy. Then I am going to take my Mod Podge and I'm going to do a light layer of it over all my stickers so that they stay down onto the wood crate and don't peel off. And then I am going to do that Mod Podge all the way around my crate just to give it a nice uniform finish. Once your faux book stack is completely dry, you can decorate however you'd like. I'm taking some thin jute twine and I'm hot gluing one end of it into the inside of the crate. I'm going to wrap this around a few times and then trim it and glue the other end down as well. You can also use a thick wide ribbon for this if you'd like. And then we can decorate with some Christmas greenery and a little gingham bow. And here's our finished faux book stack for Christmas. You can take this same idea and make it for any season or holiday. DIY number 2 is super simple. I'm just going to combine a couple items from Dollar Tree, this mini easel chalkboard, and a Christmas ornament or two. The first thing I'm going to do is take my easel and use my antique wax by Waverly and a baby wipe just to darken up a little bit of that unfinished wood that's going all the way around the chalkboard. This is just a really simple way just to dress up this Dollar Tree chalkboard to make it look a little bit more high end and give it a little farmhouse look. And with the baby wipe, it's super easy to apply just a light layer of this, and then of course to clean up any that's left on the chalkboard. Next, I'm just taking one of these word ornaments from Dollar Tree, cutting off the hanger, and I'm just going to put a little bit of hot glue on the back and glue it across the chalkboard. You may need to glue a little bit behind the greenery and pine cones to get them to stay off of covering up the word. Then on the other side, I did take another little ornament from Dollar Tree as well. This gives you some more flexibility, and just put this Christmas tree on the back side. And that's all it is to it. So you can just use whatever ornaments you find and add them to this little easel chalkboard. If you're stopping by my channel for the first time today, welcome. I'm so glad that you found me. I really hope you'll consider sticking around by hitting that subscribe button. And go ahead and tap the bell, set your notifications to all, so YouTube should let you know each time I upload a new video or go live here on my channel. If you are a returning viewer or subscriber, again, thank you so much. I've been here for almost 4 years. I can't believe it, and I couldn't be where I am today without the support of all of you. If you are on Facebook and have not done so already, I would love it if you would head to my Monarch Mom DIY Facebook page. Follow me there. I do go live there 3 times a week doing different projects than what I show here on YouTube. For DIY number 3, I'm going to show you how you can take a wooden ornament and some wood beads and jute twine from Dollar Tree to make a really cute, simple beaded wood garland. So the first thing I'm doing is I have this strand of beads from Dollar Tree, and I'm taking these 3 little trays, and I'm going to put some white paint in one, red in the other, and green in the third. And I will water that paint down a little bit. This is just another method for painting some wood beads by kind of rolling them around in a watered down version of each paint color that you want to use. So all I did is I removed some of the beads from the strand. I put about 12 in each color, and I'm just shaking the dish and kind of moving them around until they get covered with the paint. Then I will take them out and set them to dry on a small paper plate. For your wooden ornament on one end of your garland, you can choose any of the wood ornament shapes from Dollar Tree. I have not used these bells in a while, so I decided to go ahead and use one of these bells, and I just painted the entire thing with my black Waverly chalk paint on both the front and the back and the side edges as well. Then once everything was dry, I am taking a thin piece of jute twine and I am putting it on the wood ornament. Then on the other end, I'm going to wrap a little bit of tape so that I can then string my beads onto my garland. Next, I decided to make a little tassel for the other end. So I'm just taking my jute twine and wrapping it a bunch of times around my 4 fingers. Then I will take a smaller piece and kind of tie it off at the top to make a tassel. Then we'll put the end of our twine through the top of the tassel and then back up through 1 or more beads, tying it off as a knot to complete our wood beaded garland. And here's our finished garland. Again, you can take this idea and make it for any season or holiday. Our next simple and inexpensive tiered tray decor is just using a few tumbling tower blocks and one of these larger painting Christmas trees. What I did do is I did sand a little bit of the image off the one side just so that I could cover over this side with 1 coat of paint. And the green I'm using is Waverly chalk paint in the color Fern. I'm going to paint both sides of the Christmas tree as well as the side edges. Once the tree was dry, I'm using sticker letters. Again, use what you can find at Dollar Tree or maybe have in your stash. And I'm just choosing to spell the word joy on one of the sides of my Christmas tree. You could use paint to go over the star at the top of the tree. I happen to have one of these glittery gold star stickers from Dollar Tree, so I'm hot gluing that on. Then taking some Mod Podge over the rest of the front of the tree to make sure those stickers stay down. Next, to make a stand for our Christmas tree, I'm taking 4 tumbling tower blocks. I'm going to glue them together in 2 pairs like this, like a sandwich cookie, and we're going to let that dry. I am using the super glue wood glue from Dollar Tree. Once those are dry, I'll sand them a little bit to get any excess glue off, and then we're going to paint those brown with our Waverly chalk paint in the color Truffle. Then once our blocks are dry, we're going to put a little bit of hot glue on the trunk of our Christmas tree, and we're going to glue a pair of blocks to both the front and the back of our Christmas tree to allow it to be able to stand on its own. If you love budget DIY videos like this, I hope you'll consider giving this video a thumbs up and leaving at least one comment. That lets YouTube know people are enjoying my content and they'll show it to more and more viewers. DIY number 5 is another super simple idea, just using one of these chunky wooden stars from Dollar Tree and a piece of scrapbook paper. Or you could just paint the star if you don't have the scrapbook paper. I'm just going to remove the string and I'm going to trace the star shape on the back side of my scrapbook paper. We will cut that out and then we will use some Mod Podge to decoupage it onto one side of our star. Before we add the scrapbook paper, I am going to take my black Waverly chalk paint and I'm going to completely paint the side edges and the back side of this star, just so it has a nice finished look. Then once that's dry, we'll use some Mod Podge to put the scrapbook paper star onto the front. Once that Mod Podge was dried onto the paper, I did do another layer of Mod Podge over the top just to make sure that our scrapbook paper did not peel up off of our chunky star. You can also then use a piece of sandpaper or a sanding block or this mini sander like I have, just to clean up the edges, get any excess scrapbook paper off the sides of the star, and give it a nice farmhouse looking edging as well. Our next project for our tiered tray, we're going to make some little standing signs using tumbling tower blocks again. And these square images you can get from jenniferpugh.com or use any mini calendar images from Dollar Tree. I'm going to use 5 blocks to make each of my signs. The first 3 I'm laying together side by side and gluing them together like this. Then on the top and the bottom, I'm going to have 1 block on its side. So you can see there's 3 in the middle and then 1 on each end that's up on its side. And each of those will be a little mini sign. I'm going to make 2 of these for my tiered tray. Now, once those were completely dry, I did sand them a little bit to get any excess glue off, and then I'm going to paint them on all the sides and edges with my Waverly chalk paint in the color Crimson. Then once my paint is dry, I'm going to take a little bit of Mod Podge and apply it to the front where those 3 blocks are side by side. Get a nice layer on there, and then I'm going to put one of my mini calendar images right down on that spot, pressing it down really well to make sure it is stuck down onto the Mod Podge. Next, once that Mod Podge is completely dry, I'm also going to sand on the edges just to make sure it's flush and there isn't any paper hanging over the side. And here are the finished little standing signs. Super cute and easy. I definitely plan on making more of these for other seasons. DIY number 7 is definitely the easiest. I'm using one of these little ceramic standing signs from Dollar Tree and a little piece of garland tie. I'm just going to cut a piece of this, form it into a wreath, and then we're going to glue it down onto the front of the little pedestal sign, and then just glue a little bow made out of some thin ribbon. For a complete list of all the supplies I've used in today's projects, please check the description box below the title of the video. Usually you have to hit a little down arrow for it to open up. There you will find a list of supplies for each of the projects, as well as links to my Amazon storefront for some of my most used crafting tools, and a link to my Magnolia Design Co. website. Our final project for this video is me showing you how to actually make a tiered tray out of Dollar Tree items. I'm using 2 sets of the burner covers, 2 of these beaded wood wreaths, and I am using 4 of the wood dice. Now the other 2 items that I'm using are not from Dollar Tree, but you can use the glass candlestick and vase from Dollar Tree instead. I'm just happening to use what I have on hand. So the 4 feet, and actually I do end up using a 5th cube in the middle of my project, but I don't paint that one here. So you can use 4 or 5 of these cubes, and I am going to paint them all black. I'm going to paint that wood candlestick, which I think this one was originally from Hobby Lobby. I got it from a thrift store. And then over on the right, the little finial thing, you could use, like I said, the glass candlesticks from Dollar Tree instead for this part. Now, using these bead wreaths makes this part a lot easier. If you don't see these in your Dollar Tree, you can use the bead strands, but I would suggest putting the beads on some wire instead of trying to individually glue all the beads. That is just a little bit of a nightmare. So what I'm doing with one of the wreaths here is I used my wire cutters and I'm just taking off, I think I took off 3 beads for this larger burner cover. And then I'm going to reform the circle there so that it perfectly fits on the edge of the burner cover. Just use some pliers and bend that back into shape. You can trim off the excess, but for the bottom burner cover, I took 3 beads off of this wreath. Now taking a second beaded wreath, I'm going to open it up again. This one, I think I removed like 12 or 13 beads. You'll just have to kind of hold it up to your burner cover to see how many you're going to need to, again, fit the circle around the outer edge there of the smaller burner cover. Next, I'm going to take a combination of E6000 glue and hot glue to glue down these wood beads that are on the wire to the burner cover. So we're going to first lay them on one of the burner covers, a small and a large, and then we will put the other burner cover on the other side of the beads in just a moment. So we're kind of making 2 sandwiches that have the beads in the middle. One small sandwich with 2 burner covers that are small, and one larger sandwich with 2 burner covers that are the bigger size. Once all of that was dry, I did go around the inside and just reinforce the beads to the burner cover with some extra hot glue. This part will be completely hidden, so it's okay if you get it a little bit messy. I just wanted to make sure my pieces stayed together. You could add more E6000 on the inside if you wanted to as well, and I did this to both of my pieces. Next, we're going to use that combination of E6000 and hot glue again. This time I'm going around my second large burner cover. We'll put the glue down and then we will put the other burner cover that already has the beads attached to it face down on this to make our large bead sandwich. Then we'll do the same thing with the smaller ones as well. Coming back to the larger burner covers, I'm now taking my 4 cubes, and with a combination again of E6000 and hot glue, I'm going to glue these kind of in a square shape to 4 of the corners around the edge of the circle. I will also say I will be adding a 5th cube right in the center just to give a little more stability to the middle part of this tiered tray. If you don't have these cubes, you can use other wood cubes or even tumbling tower blocks, or just have it sit flat on your table. Now taking the longer wood candlestick, I'm going to use E6000 and hot glue to glue this down to our burner covers. So I glued the top of this candlestick to the underside of the smaller burner covers. Now I'm gluing the bottom of it to the center of my larger burner covers. And somehow I missed filming it, but then I did take the little finial and glue that to the center at the very top of our tiered tray. And here's what our finished tiered tray looks like with the items that we made for it. I just love it, and I love those beaded wreaths. It really makes this, I'm calling it a sandwich style tiered tray, really much easier to make. Here's another close-ups of some of the items that we made. And then I went ahead and added a few more items that are easy to find at Dollar Tree. Some greenery, the reindeer ornament, some of the small little faux trees. I have that little sleigh ornament with some pine cones in it. Really, if you look around for small things at Dollar Tree, you could find a lot to fill a tiered tray. Thanks again so much for joining me today. Please let me know in the comments what you think of today's projects, what you would make to decorate a tiered tray, and we'll see you next time. Take care.